This is a love story buried deep beneath silence. On one side, a cold and composed sister secretly in love with her younger brother. On the other, a gentle brother who loves his sister just as deeply. Both hide their feelings behind unspoken words, because they were born into a mafia family. Before either of them becomes the next boss, any sign of affection could mean death for the other. Not long ago, the brother Carl and the sister Phytis both confessed to Twilight and to the protagonist. Carl already knew Twilight was a robot, and that she came to the festival only to prove that she could love, so he decided to play along, hoping that through this human-robot relationship, he might finally understand what love truly means. Meanwhile, the protagonist accepted Phytis' invitation, not out of affection, but to gather intel about Tokyo, and that's how this strange five-person double date began. At first, everything went smoothly. Twilight and Carl browsed jewelry shops, while the protagonist in Yamaru followed Phytis from store to store as she shopped non-stop, but Phytis' eyes kept drifting toward Carl, no matter how hard she tried to hide it. Then, in a moment of distraction, the playful Yamaru ran off. The group split up to search. Phytis wandered so far that she got lost, and in that lonely moment, memories of childhood returned. Back then, she and Carl were playing hide and seek. Carl was scared by a butterfly and burst into tears, leading the others straight to their hiding spot. Watching her timid, crying little brother, Phytis swore she'd become the boss one day, to protect him for life. Just then, Carl found her again. The protagonist happened to see it, but quietly stepped aside, giving them space. Twilight also found Yamaru, and the three watched from a distance. Carl tried to remind his sister of their childhood promise, hoping she'd see the love he'd kept hidden for so long, but Phytis turned away coldly, saying she'd long forgotten such childish things. By the time the date ended, the five sat awkwardly in the car. Suddenly, a tire burst. The protagonist got out to replace it, while the girls went for a walk nearby. Carl, unaware that the protagonist and Twilight were acting too, mistakenly thought his sister had fallen for the protagonist. He even warned him not to make her cry. Meanwhile, Twilight and the others discussed what love really is. Just then, a cargo crate fell from above, about to crush a worker. Without hesitation, Twilight leapt into action. Someone in the shadows saw everything. Phytis realized the truth. Twilight was indeed a robot, but robots can't bear children. She couldn't understand what Carl was after. When she saw Carl and the protagonist approaching, she ran off. Carl asked the protagonist to comfort her, and that's when she revealed her past. That she, too, used to cry easily, saying she didn't want to be the boss. But in their family, refusing that role meant exile. So Carl had vowed to become boss himself, to change the family, so Phytis would never cry again. Yet his kind heart made him secretly care for even those siblings cast out. Phytis didn't want him to bear such pain. It was too cruel for someone as gentle as Carl. Elsewhere, their father, the mafia boss, learned that Twilight was a robot. Driven by greed, he wanted her for himself, even if it meant sacrificing his own children. That night, as the group shared dinner, the boss stormed in with his men. He already knew Carl and Phytis loved each other, and according to family law, that was unforgivable. He declared that a sterile leader was unacceptable. Then he gave Phytis a choice: kill Carl, and she'd become the next boss. Knowing delay meant death for both, Carl begged her to shoot, but she couldn't. Instead, the two decided to rebel. Against their family, against fate itself. Carl finally saw his father for who he was, a man who loved power more than blood. Enraged by their defiance, the boss ordered everyone killed and Twilight captured. He thought it would be easy, since Twilight had supposedly drunk herself unconscious, but what he didn't know was that robots can disable their alcohol processing system. Twilight had only turned it off for the thrill of pretending to be drunk.